Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to go right to her website. I love this coach. It resonates with me. I think it's going to resonate with you as well. The quote on the website is, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." You guaranteeing, essentially, what your future is going to be because you're at the wheel. And that quote is by Peter Drucker, but it says a lot about what we're going to talk about today, your future, specifically if you are a leader and you're responsible for others. Her specialty is leadership coaching, specifically with nonprofit organizations, but she works with many people even outside of that arena. What is a leader? What is leadership? We're going to learn about that today and so much more. Maybe define a lot of things for you. Karen Casey joins us on the program today. How are you?
I'm good, but it's Carey.
I just saw that.
Not a problem.
You know what? I have a friend, Karen Casey, I went to school with. So it's like now it's ingrained in my brain. Wow.
I understand.
Well, great to have you here. And leadership. How do you define what is a leader? Let's go there. How do you define what a leader is?
A leader inspires others into effective action. Okay, to meet shared goals that they're having. And that's what a leader is all about.
What is the difference between a leader and a manager?
Managers are leaders. You know, often we think that if you don't have a title, you're not a leader. But I beg to differ. I think that everyone is a leader. Whether you're a leader to your children, on the PTA, at church, people are leaders. So a manager is a leader, but they have that title, but there's really no difference.
Would you say that everybody is a leader because you're leading your life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The skills that you need to have as a leader transcend into life and how to have others respect you and look up to you and be inspired by you. That's what we all want, that acceptance, that people, that respect that people are always looking for.
Would you say that you've hit a high point in your career, let's say if you are a leader or even a manager, where you know that people are looking up to you?
Well, I would hope so. And, you know, one of the things I wanted to do today was to share a story about myself that really talks about, gives an example, I guess, of someone who was anything but a leader, even though they had that title. They really exemplified what none of us strive to do.
So how do we take those steps to become more effective in our leadership?
Well, one of the things that we can do is learn mental fitness skills, which are the building blocks of leadership. They really help you not just give you insight, but mental fitness really helps you sustain leadership and sustain how you respond. And it's based on the growing of your left side of or the right side of your brain and weakening the left side. That muscle there that gives us, as a leader, we often allow that self-doubt to come in and play into our decisions and our thoughts. So really, mental fitness, when you strengthen that right side or the right side of the brain and weaken the left side of the brain, really helps you be able to stay in that positive area of your brain and be able to strategize well and have positive thoughts rather than those negative thoughts that so often plague many of us. And I would say this, that there is proof that if you're able to build that muscle up, that if you have an MRI and you do the PQ reps, that you can see a change in the MRI that shows your left side of your brain weakening and increasing the strength of your right side of your brain.
My gosh. Wasn't even aware of that.
So that's really exciting to know that if you do that, you'll be more successful. You'll be able to work at peak performance. You'll be able to have healthier relationships, and they will be sustained. It won't be just like an insight that, oh, I remember this little thing, but actually becomes a part of you. And the negative thoughts, you may still have them. They'll never go away, but you'll recognize them quickly and you'll move on from there to start thinking about, oh, how can I manage this situation better? What strategies can I use? Or think about, this is a really negative situation, but I know that there's a gift or there's an opportunity in this, that if I just do some PQ reps, which will help me calm down and refocus, I can get to that positive thought.
I want to dig into PQ reps in just a moment, but before I get there, back up what you said. I found in my journey of maybe I'm doing, positive work on my PQ. I don't know. But when those situations arise, I find myself getting out of the negative thoughts or maybe fear or challenge way sooner, where it would marinate for a few days. Now it's like something presents itself and you react, which is all normal. Like, what? I didn't know that was coming. What, really? And then all of a sudden you turn around. Hour or two has gone by. Whatever. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I know we all know ourselves. If it was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, I would have reacted in a different way to that situation. And I actually had something present itself business-wise yesterday. Kind of surprised me. And I had that, I didn't freak out, but it was just really? Yeah, that's not so good. Yeah, and went to bed. It's all good. Woke up today, and now here's an example of don't worry about it until you really need to worry about it. The whole situation, even though it was presented in one way, actually turned, and lack of a better description, isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. In fact, there is opportunity on the back end of it. But I could have just, jumped down that rabbit hole, was like, I can't believe this is going on. I was like, I reacted. And then, like you said, shortly moved away from it in my mind. And I'm glad I did, because I would have been a waste of time worrying about it. PQ reps. Can you give an example or define how that goes?
Sure. There's an app, if you really want to make a change and you want to improve the right side of your brain and strengthen it, there's an app that has probably 20 different PQ reps on it. Oh. But it's really where you just intentionally think of something. I'll give you an example. You can just tense up every bone in your body. Go ahead and try that.
I don't want to, because I used to do that. I don't want to do that. All right. Tense up
But if you do that for 10 seconds and then let it all go, you'll find that you are much more relaxed. Got to tense up your face too. Every bone. forehead, toes, everything without hurting yourself.
Yeah. So uncomfortable. Like, I
Oh, it
really mean it.
is.
Yeah.
But how do you feel after you did it?
Back home again.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Exactly.
where I should be, need to be. And you know what? To illustrate your point, so many people are going through life tensed up. Maybe not to the degree that we're talking here as an example,
Right.
but
Absolutely.
they don't even realize that they're walking around in a uh, flight, fight, freeze mode, and they don't, to a degree, and they don't know they're doing it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you wonder why people have physical issues,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's part of it. Um,
Mm.
it's really, it's really pretty amazing. It does work, and you can use it with breath, touching, all kinds of different things, but it takes daily practice.
Yeah.
If you practice every day, these PQ reps, guess what happens? That right muscle, your sage muscle, those positive thoughts are going to get stronger. And pretty soon, those negative thoughts that appear, you recognize them right away and you can switch them. But it takes, it takes effort and it takes commitment for people to do that. But it really is life-changing.
After a while, I would imagine that you don't even know you're doing it. It's like automatic. You react in an automatic way, and then you've calmed down. Don't even know you're doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's the difference, Karen, between the left side, the right side of the brain? Like we're talking about that, but some of the properties between the two.
The left side is really where your saboteurs are, or another word for it is your survivor area of your brain. And you're born with that. And that's what keeps you safe. Okay. It keeps you from knowing that if you put your hand on the hot stove, that it's going to get burnt.
Right.
It's sort of as an alert system. But it also creates self-doubt, negative thoughts. Like, a leader saying, I've never done this before. I'm not good at this. I'm not going to do it well. Well, when you have those kind of thoughts, you cannot be strategic and really figure out problems and solve them because you're in that negative mode. Nothing positive happens when you're that way. And I would say that leaders often, that's one of the challenges leaders have, is that they overextend, they work hard, and they try to manage all this and also try to manage all those negative self-doubt thoughts that come into their head.
That being said, how do you know that a negative thought is there and it's holding you back? Is there any way to identify it, make that connection to something?
Well, I think part of, when you start this program, a lot of times, because we have something like 200,000 thoughts that go through our head a day. And we don't even realize that. So part of it is recognizing it and focusing on like when they come up,
right,
being able to recognize them. That's the first step. And then when you start trying to recognize them, you realize how many hundreds of times you have these self-doubt thoughts. So then the next step is recognizing them and then doing PQ reps and then figuring out like what's the opportunity or gift. Or sometimes it might be just the fact that I have no control over this situation. There's nothing I can do about it. I have to accept it and stop ruminating about it. Stop worrying about it because you have no control over it.
I don't know if this question is even able to be answered, but let's say you're a leader, and you said something before. This is what inspired this thought. You have something that's new in your world as a leader, and now you're having those thoughts to yourself. They want me to do this. I don't know if I can do. I don't know. I've never done that before. I don't know. Okay, so how do you know whether you can do it or you really can't? Like, how do you make that? How do you ascertain whether it's even possible to do that?
Well, first of all, you've never done it before.
Right.
So there's no reason to think that you can't. So instead of staying in that mindset, start thinking about, okay, what can I do to make this happen? What steps do I need to take to be successful at this? Do I need to maybe do some research? Do I maybe need to talk to a peer who's done this before? I mean, there's ways. That self-sabotaging, you are self-sabotaging yourself.
You're not even giving yourself a chance, the benefit of
No,
the doubt.
absolutely. You're just saying, oh my gosh, it's different. It's something I've never done. I can't do it.
I don't want to look bad. I don't want to look embarrassed. I don't want to look like a fool. I believe we have a phone call. Hi, who's this?
Hi, my name's Marcia.
Hey, Marcia. Marcia checking in from Orlando. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. We got Karen here. You have a question?
Yeah, basically I was going to ask, I'm curious, like, how long do your clients typically work with you? And, like, what kind of goals and challenges do your clients typically face, like, every day?
Oh, well, first of all, most of my clients stay with me at least 6 months, sometimes longer, sometimes years, but a minimum of 6 months. Okay, that's the first answer. The second question.
Why 6 months? Why not 3 or 2?
Well, because part of coaching is building a relationship with someone and getting them really into understanding sort of what my role is, because we can say what my role is and what their role is, but sometimes it takes people a while to get there. And sometimes it takes people a while to build that trust with you, to really share what's happening. They don't always, immediately say, oh, this is what's going on in my life. Sometimes you have to just really ask a lot of good questions to help them figure things out. And it's like anything, change doesn't happen overnight. And usually at 3 months, you're just starting to really see some improvement with the person. They're starting to, make changes, but like a habit, like any habit, it takes a long time for it to really solidify and work for you. So that's why there's greater transformation, I would say, when someone sticks with it for a length of time.
Okay. And what type of challenges do you say your clients usually face?
Oh, my goodness. There are many. Sometimes people are overwhelmed with work. Sometimes they feel like they're not a good leader and they want to improve that. Sometimes they're really struggling with being organized and it's affecting their leadership ability. It's just, you name it, people come to me and say, I need to improve on this, and I don't know how. So it's a whole variety of things.
Okay.
Thank you very much for calling. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You talk about the 6 months and all of that. There's 12-step programs out there for, different. It's a phrase, 12 steps. There's a reason that it's 12 steps because it's been proven to work. It's not just, hey, it could have been 14, could have been 11. There's a reason that came about.
Absolutely. And what you want, and this is where mental fitness comes into play, is that you want the changes that individuals make, you want them to be sustained long term. You don't want it to do a coaching session, have coaching sessions at 3 months. And then a year later, they're like, well, I had coaching once, but, I sort of remember a little bit of it, but I don't remember enough. And you want to help people make lasting changes in their life.
Yeah. You could go 3 months and just wake up to what's new. And then if you end it, it's not sticking, potentially not
Right.
sticking.
Exactly.
Now, you work with all different types of individuals. Doesn't have to be somebody who's in a leadership role. Doesn't have to be somebody who is connected to a nonprofit, a director. That's in your wheelhouse and one of your specialties, but it could be just anybody, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've helped people who are trying to take better care of themselves because they're not eating well. They're not exercising. They can't find time, those kind of things. They're having challenges with their spouse. I don't do therapy, but, sometimes just helping people see their role in the conflict,
Sure.
and helping them understand maybe there's better ways that, that they could ask questions instead of threatening their partner,
Or seeing it in a different light.
Yeah. Thinking about, well, why does he think that way?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe asking that question. Because often we always think the other person, the partner or whomever, should know what we're thinking because we've been married forever.
Right.
And it turns out they don't. Sometimes they're totally clueless.
We don't know it until you know it. And until somebody sees it from a different perspective, like yourself, we're just going to keep going in our lane, driving down the road, but not seeing, where the car could turn potentially for some positivity or positive direction. Karen, best way to reach you. How do we do that?
You can email me, kscarey@charter.net or .net, or visit my website at www.thrivecoachingandconsulting.com and spell it out. No little and, squiggly and, spell it all out and you'll get me.
Is that and an ampersand? I think I don't know. I thought that. I have
no idea.
I got to look that up. Either way, you are fabulous at what you do, and your insight, especially what we're talking about today, that type of intelligence, we all need to harness the power of that and realize that there are things holding us back that we're not even aware of. And it's my belief that it's there to protect us. Like, think of the earliest thought you have as a child. I don't know if we mentioned this, but
no.
It's usually, for many people, a negative memory because it's there to protect you. The good stuff doesn't stay as long. The negative stuff is in us to protect us, and sometimes it's overprotecting us, and we're not moving our life forward.
Yeah, and actually, it takes at least 3 to 5 positives to erase one negative.
Wow.
So think about that. That's the power that left side of our brain has on us. So it's no wonder that people struggle with all those self-doubts.
Thank you so much for today. Learned a lot.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Good.
Fascinating. Fascinating the way the mind works. And once we learn more about it, we can use it to our best advantage. Appreciate you being here today.
Oh, absolutely. Remember, thrive. Don't just survive. Thrive.
Absolutely. And guess what? When you're surviving, that's that part of your brain that's just trying to get you past, just trying to keep you moving forward. But it's usually with negativity. Why do you want to do that? Survive with positivity. We'll catch up next time we get together.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Carey. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.